What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. Today we are doing our weekly PSA update on how they're getting along with working through their backlog. Before we get into that update, if you have not watched the first video, I'll link it in the description. I'll link it up in the tag. In that video, I go a little bit more in depth as to the logic and some of the assumptions that had to be made in order to come up with some of the calculations that I came up with. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I do this update every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Every week, I pull the data and I put it in a spreadsheet, and then I do this video and release it on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button. That way you get notified whenever the video drops. And also hit the like button if you like this kind of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff on the channel, ranging from box openings to my thoughts on PSA, SGC, yada, yada, yada. So all that good stuff. Also, if you have not already, follow me on Instagram at Retro Hoop Breaks. Celebrating my personal collection. As you guys know, this is well documented on my channel. I'm a big fan of Clint Capella and PJ Tucker. I've been picking up some really low numbered, high end cards of theirs, and they're both in the conference finals. So very happy about that. Anyway, follow me on Retro Hoop Breaks on Instagram, and then also check out Collect 3D prints. This is a very, very cool product to get all of your slabs that you covet and that you love so much out of those cardboard boxes and onto your shelves so that you can display them proudly. It's pretty easy. It's basically like a phone case for your cards that has this little kick out tab here that allows you to display your stuff. You can see back behind me, let me move out the way. You see, I got let's see, starting from, I got my Tom Brady, my Luka, my Jordan sticker, my Jordan Hardaway and Kemp upper deck card there. My Shaq on display. I got my Akeem Olajuwon on display. And then my Kobe's. So I got all my stuff displayed back there, and every single one of them is in one of these beautiful cases here. So check them out: www.collect3dprints.com. Yeah, they got them for everything: PSA, BGS, SGC, HGA, and also mag holders, and available in these colors, so you can color match them to your team or to your player. All right. Without further to, let's get into the data for this week. So, pretty good week this week for PSA. We'll get into the numbers here in a second, but complete through dates moved around a little bit. Walkthroughs are pretty much just a couple of days. Super Express, it's about 10 days. The one that moved the most, though, let's talk about that one. Regular didn't move a whole lot. Economy moved a pretty good chunk, September 15th to September 23rd. Now, in order to really understand how much this actually moved, you really have to take a look at September 15th to September 23rd. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that moved about 8 days over the course of 7 days. So not really a whole lot in terms of big movement, but it moved. Economy moved. Reholders are still pretty much the same. Collector Club vouchers didn't move. Ultra Modern virtually didn't move. Value Modern moved a little bit. So 2, 4, 6, about 6 days over the course of 7 days. So it's making progress, I guess. Vintage is pretty much stagnant. Value TCG also moved a little bit, about 5 days, and quarterly specials also about 5 days. No, 2 days for quarterly specials. So actually, you know what? I gotta move this. Well, I didn't want to do that. Let's move me down just a smidge. Oh, we're messing stuff up here. Probably could just make me smaller, just a smidge smaller. There we go. All right. So yeah, not a whole lot of movement in the in the dates, in the complete through dates. We'll see. We'll see. But check this out. I was off on my prediction. I got kind of excited when I saw this 189,000 cards that they did last month. I was like, well, you know what? Here we go. This is what we're going to do from here on out. But this 164,000 cards is not anything to shake a stick at. This is pretty impressive because it is the second largest week that they have ever had by just a little bit. Remember when we got excited about the 164,000 back in the beginning of May? Actually, about a month ago is what it comes out to be. Remember we got excited about the 164. Well, they did it again, roughly about 164,000. Yeah, I got a feeling this is going to be kind of their working. You know, it's what they're going to do from here on out. So obviously coming off of 189,000 last week, almost 190,000 last week. We were going to see, I mean, I got excited. I predicted the 190,000. I was much more hopeful than analytical with that, you know, with that prediction. But this 164,000 is pretty good. It's the biggest that they've done since this 189, which I kind of had an idea was a blip. But you know, I mean, it's kind of what it is, but, and I really should have, if I had been as analytical as I normally am, I would have realized that usually when they have big spikes, it's followed by a dip. So they spike and then dip and then spike and then dip and then spike and then dip. But they always dip to a not to the basement, right? They always dip to higher than what they normally do. So the average here is 136,000 a month or a week. If you look at the last 3 weeks, it's 156. They still killed that. So they're doing pretty good. Now here we are. Today is the 22nd when I'm doing this video. And they're still looking at, you know, in September 23rd date, if their backlog was 4 million. They're still looking at the end of the year if their backlog was 6 million. They're looking at February of next year if their backlog was 8 million. And they're looking at May of next year if their backlog was 10 million to be completely caught up. Now, as we know, PSA has no intentions of being completely caught up with orders, and you know, for them to be able to turn services back on. So, if we jump over to the site real quick, I don't think they really had any intention of. They had no real intention of being completely caught up. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see services. Here we go. Where is I'm trying to look for the, and I'm probably in the wrong spot here. There we go. Okay. Nope, that's not it either. Where are we here? There we go. Okay. So, if I had to make a prediction, I would say by July 1st, they're going to reintroduce the express service only. That seems to be kind of the idea. Reholder for $10. I'm wondering if that had already been there, but I keep you guys in the comments keep telling me about an interview that the guy did. What's his name? Matt Turner or Ted Turner, whatever his name is. Ted Turner. That's not Ted Turner. Is the billionaire guy. Anyway, where he was talking about that they're going to offer a sub $50 service, which they would absolutely have to if they're meant to compete again. Because I mean these tiers are they're just way too expensive. But if I had to make a suggestion, or if I had to make a prediction, I'm saying July 1st we're gonna see something come. We should today's the 22nd. We should see something announced. I would think by the end of this week, if not Monday of next week, the 28th. So basically saying, hey, here's what we plan on doing. What that's going to be, my prediction is going to be that they're going to return express services, and they're probably going to take a tiered approach to it. So if they're going to say July 1st, which is basically the start of Q3, it's basically the start of Q3. So they're going to say July 1st, we're going to open back up express, and then on October 1st, they're going to open up regular. You know, they're gonna kind of tier it like that, or they might just do July 1st is gonna be the $150 express, and then they're gonna say something like we'll reevaluate and see if August 1st we can open up regular, and then they'll probably bring back one service every month, because based on these numbers here, if they held to like the last maybe 4 weeks of average, they're doing about 160,000 cards a week. Or not cards, but like, you know, they're slabs. They're grading 160,000 items a week. That's just the last 4 month average. If I take, it's like 165,000 cards a week is what they're doing. Even at their peak, I mean, I don't think they're receiving. You know, they said, and I have this on here, just like it says, for example, at the time that I'm writing this, PSA is receiving more cards every 5 days, over 500,000 per business week, than we've ever received in 3 months. So even at their peak, they were receiving more cards every 5 days. So they were receiving about 100,000 cards per day. That's not right. Than we received in the past 3 months. Trying to produce that for, trying to process in that for a second. When it pays and go up to 2x, 3x multiple times. So even if it's 10,000 a day or 20,000 a day that they're doing, their daily average rate is about 30,000 a day. So 160,000 a week. They're averaging about 30,000 a day is what they can put out. So even if they were receiving 20,000, 30,000 a day, they could still chew away at their backlog and still keep up with an influx. So I honestly think they're gonna do that. They're gonna go, okay, we'll bring back Express. We'll bring back Express on July 1st, and then on August 1st we'll bring back regular, and then maybe even by that time they'll be completely caught up. If they ramp things up a little bit, and then they say, okay, economy and value, they're gonna have to offer a sub $30. They're gonna have to do something to compete with the $30 SGC that you're getting back in freaking 10 days, 10 calendar days. They're gonna have to do something about that. There's no way that PSA is gonna leave that unchecked. They got to do something about that. They have to come with something. Now they have an excuse right now for why they're not doing that, because they're trying to work through their backlog, and that's amicable. But they can't do that for long. And I feel like they cannot go into Q4. Shit, I would even say they can't even go into Q3. But they can't go into Q4 without offering something that's going to be on par with what SGC and HGA is offering in terms of pricing and in terms of turnaround. They just can't. They can't keep going this long. So I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring back July 1st. They're going to bring back Express. And then they're going to reevaluate a month later and see if they can bring back regular. Maybe even regular in economy. And then before October, they have to come out with their value or their economy to some extent. They just have to. If they don't, they're going to be in a tough situation, especially with SGC just killing it in terms of returns. Let me see if I can pull this up without giving away any information. So I have 2 SGC subs out right now that are on their way back, one of which I submitted myself. Okay. So I have one order that I submitted through my group sub, which didn't really go out until like the end of or like the beginning of June. So it was the May sub that I sent in that didn't really go out until like June or something like that. And that's already on its way back. Now, I submitted a sub myself, and you guys can go back and watch the video, where I submitted it on June 10th. I submitted it. They received the order on June 10th, and they shipped it out on the 17th. So that's like, I mean, what are we talking about here? That's, we're talking about 7 calendar days. Not business days, calendar days. And that's PSA is going to have to do something about that. And at $30 a pop, I went ahead and just submitted, with, that's $30. That's their $30, that's their base sub. And like I said, PSA is going to have to do something soon. If they don't, then they're going to be in trouble. It's just that simple. And I should get that back tomorrow. Anyway, so we're talking from my to my door in less than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to my door in less than 8 calendar days. If PSA doesn't do something about that, they're going to be in trouble. So anyway, what else can I say? I mean, I think they did a great job. 164,000 cards this week. I want to start paying more attention to this daily average, or their daily output of about 30,000, because I think that's going to be the most relevant thing to look at as they start turning on services and as they start accepting more and more. I don't know what their daily influx rate is. I think that's kind of another mystery, right? Because we don't really know. I mean, the assumption is just that. I think I have an assumption of 10,000 per day that they're receiving in their peak. I'm pretty sure that's not what's happening now because they closed down a shit ton of services. But, even if they're receiving in 20,000 per day, they're putting out 30,000 per day. So it's, we'll see what happens. But again, not much movement on the dates. It's still September, December, February, and May, given their assumed backlogs. But we'll see. I just think I think that they're gonna do something. They need to do something here soon, and I hope that July 1st announcement is something that's gonna really put things into perspective. That announcement's going to tell us a lot about what they got going on, and it's going to tell us a lot in terms of like, hey, this is what we feel comfortable with, and here's what we're doing. So I don't know. I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Basketball was still the big one. So those of you sending in all those basketball cards, that was the big output for the week, and baseball was the second biggest, and football was the third biggest, I think. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, TCG. TCG was the third biggest. So, all right, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you guys so much for, again, continuing to be here week after week. Watching this update. I enjoy pulling the data for it, taking a look at it, and then actually kind of getting really excited because I'm seeing these big numbers and going, holy crap, man, I can't wait to do this video and put it out. Again, a very big week from PSA, the second largest week they've ever had. So kudos to them. Hopefully they're getting back on track. I'd love to see them back in the arena in terms of grading companies. Here's the other thing we still haven't talked about, though. The volume is massive, obviously. But, man, the quality of these grades are just not what people are expecting. I am watching a lot of videos. People getting their returns back, and they are just absolutely heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. And I have a little experiment that I'm in the middle of working on and doing, to where I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that experiment turns out, because, man, PSA is, in terms of quality and of grading, and man, they are just not making people happy right now. A lot of these guys that sent in $10 cards and paid, maybe $10 to grade them, are getting 7s and 8s, and their cards are selling on eBay for $15. It's gonna hurt a lot of people, and a lot of the people that were in this game for the flip are getting hurt, and the overall card market is down. People aren't paying the top. The LeBron. Anyway, we'll get into that in another video, but it's going to be interesting. And I'm working on this little experiment that I want to do. It's not going to financially make sense to you guys whenever I tell y'all about it, but I think it's just worth doing. And so I'm putting together a little experiment and spending a little money to try to test out a theory of mine. So the gym rate video is still coming. I need to nail down a date for that. I will soon. Other than that, thank you guys so much. Again, all the support, all the love. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. If you made it this far, I really do love you. And I'll catch you guys next week for next week's update. All right. Peace.